battling boondoggles and fighting frivolous spending. Eight of your sides, Mark Douglas is taking on the big shots, wasting taxpayer money because you paid for it.
After a 7-month-long legal battle with the state, the top building official in Tarpon Springs admits he broke the law. He gets probation, and now you get his legal bills. Sound like a bad deal for taxpayers? Tonight, Mark's on it because you paid for it.
Keith, from the first day that we broke this story back in January, it was clear to us, crystal clear, that Anthony Mastraccio had broken the same law that he's supposed to enforce. But the Tarpon Springs city attorney defended him to the very end for a pay rate of $145 an hour, a pay rate that you paid for. Tarpon Springs' top building official has been dodging our questions about his license since January, and he still is. Tarpon Springs taxpayers have spent more than $8,000 in legal fees defending Anthony Mastraccio for running the city's building department without a valid license.
And I do apologize, but I was still under duress at that point. I was trying to recover from the illness, and actually I'm still trying to recover.
Back in 2014, the city promoted Mastraccio and boosted his pay to $95,000 a year. But he had to pass a state test and get a permanent building administrator license within 12 months. 6 months later, Mastraccio had a stroke and a setback. But 16 months later, he still doesn't have his license.
Mr. Mastraccio has the full support of the city administration.
And don't forget the support of city taxpayers. They're still paying City Attorney Jay Dano $145 an hour to defend Mastraccio, long after he pleaded guilty. Dano billed taxpayers $565 and $942 the first day he got involved, and he kept billing day after day after day. 31 days of billable hours that you paid for, including a 5-hour trip to Fernandina Beach for a last-ditch defense.
Obviously, there's a violation of law, but I do think there are some mitigating circumstances.
It was a valiant defense that you paid for, Tarpon Springs taxpayers. Apparently, you didn't pay enough for an explanation from Mastraccio or your city attorney.
No comment.
He's not going to have any comment to the taxpayers that are paying for all this. So what's next?
We're going to drive home.
And you paid for that, too. Yesterday's hearing alone cost taxpayers about $1,100 in legal bills. But on the bright side, the panel did not make Mr. Mastraccio pay the $1,000 fine recommended by state investigators. He's now on 6 months probation, and he hopes to get his license someday soon. And in fairness to the city, they say that state law requires them to pay these bills, but nothing keeps him from paying them back, I suppose.
Well, was there a role? I mean, his medical trouble, did that play any role at all in all of this?
Well, he did have a serious illness. He was out for a period of time, but the panel yesterday determined that that stroke should not have gotten in the way of him getting his license, or at least reporting that he didn't have his license. They didn't buy it.
A lot of billable hours.
Absolutely.
As you point out, though. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.